Um, I believe it's very unfair. I think that police jobs are to protect and serve. That no one should live in fear of feeling discriminated or feel like they're unsafe due to unjust situations. It's starting to become like it's an epidemic or something like that these days, and I just think that totally that we should have our police to protect the servants, not to feel like we're going to be harmed, even murdered in certain situations. So I strongly feel like this is something that needs to stop and needs to be taken place right away.
Big issue. I think it's only been brought into the mainstream media because of the technology that we have now, because it's been happening for many, many years. But social media technology has kind of helped get the word out there. And it's an issue that does need to be addressed and go into training, I feel like, for police academies and police officers in training. So, and then the second part of your question was Black and brown communities. Yeah, I feel like they're very segregated based on like socioeconomic status. I don't feel like they're really integrated into community as a whole either. So, like I said, segregation is this, police brutality is this.
I feel that it is unfortunate. It happens all too often, and I would love for it to end.
It's outrageous the way they're acting, the way they're doing, the way they treat them, the black boys and blacks and the brown. And it's not a nice way to do it. They can do things better. They're showing their raciality prejudice.
What do I feel about it? I feel like it's just very common nowadays to see that, because back in the day we didn't used to see. But what I personally think of it is that why is it present? Why is it here? Why are we the only people of color to get targeted by mostly a lot of police brutality? That's what I'm thinking of. But probably it's because they're just trying to separate us from different things, as in, like, separation. That's about it to that question.
So, like, it's a real serious matter. Black and brown lives are always being targeted and looked over and treated badly because the neighborhood and community we live in.
I feel like I can go on and on about that question. Basically, to sum it up, I believe that it shouldn't be happening in brown and black communities. I feel like it's unfortunate that it is happening, and I feel that as a community, we should definitely fight for our rights of equality.
To tell you the truth, it really sucks. Like, you can't even walk down the street safe. Every time you do, there's a chance of you getting shot, hurt, for some dumb reason altogether.
I feel like communities of color have been historically targeted by police, although the police system is supposed to help and protect and serve all. I think there's a history that still continues to plague communities of color. How do I feel? I feel bad as a person of color being racially profiled, having to look over my shoulder while I drive, and more so for my students. I've seen a lot of things, and even though as a person of color I do have light skin privilege, compared to my friends, I've seen how my darker pigmented friends were targeted, harassed, and almost beat up in front of my face. And that's when I understood about the power of color in America. And I feel that it's dehumanizing to all people, and I wish it could stop.
About police brutality in black and brown communities, well, it's a twofold thing. One time I feel it's wrong, it's blatantly wrong. And then another time, you kind of feel feel bad that it's happening, that it's actually happening. Something like police brutality shouldn't happen. They're there to keep us safe and secure, and just for the color of our skin, that we got to be treated any different. It's just wrong, and the fact that it's happening makes it even worse.
I feel like any other sensible person would, though. They say Black Lives Matter, but a few decent protests, a few posters with some T-shirts isn't gonna help it. Right? You can't stop what's been going on for about 400 years with like marches or anything. Like, I think this racism is taught, and I feel like it's gonna take more than a little effort that we show as a unit. We gotta come together, and we gotta respond to adversity. Us as a culture, we always judge on how we respond to adversity. Our culture is typically likes to respond in violence. That's not the way to go, by any means. But I feel, it's unnecessary though. Like, a simple parking ticket could turn into you deciding whether or not you get to go home or not. That's not fair. You feel me? And I feel like a lot of other people feel the same way. We just need to get our voices across.
I think it's a disgrace to the human race because we're all the same. I don't feel like I'm less than anybody else. I'm just as good as the next person. And whoever is doing that, it's wrong the way they do it because we were all made. It's just like a garden. All the flowers are not the same color, but you take care of that garden and treat them all the same way. So the same thing with us. It's the blacks and browns with the whites. They take care of their gardens, and we're supposed to be taken care of the same way God put us here. All to be treated the same. All be created, all men equal.
By the color of your skin.
So I acknowledge that I have privilege, even though I'm Latina. I'm like light-skinned Latina. So a lot of times people will mistake me as being white. I don't feel like I've ever been criticized or judged based on the color of my skin. But when I have gone with my brothers who are a little bit darker, they've told me their experiences, and I've also witnessed it. So, yeah, but personally, I've never.
Your skin.
At this point in my life, it's normal to me. It shouldn't be normal, but the society we live in tends to make that seem appropriate. I feel like you shouldn't be judged by the color of your skin because we all bleed the same. We all bleed the same colors, And I feel like if only they go through what we go through on a daily basis, they'd probably be more grateful for us. Or they might have more respect for us and see how we make it out on an everyday basis.
How do you feel about being targeted or criticized by the color of your skin?
It sucks because I can't even walk down the street while people just looking at me normal. They will walk away, zip up their purse, stuff like that. Simple things that look stupid just because of my skin color.
So growing up, I felt like very privileged and happy that I got to experience a lot of diversity where I grew up. I grew up in Inglewood, and then I went to Westchester for school. I got not bussed out, but I got a permit to go to Westchester, and then that's where I started to feel like I was different. I was one of like a few students that were Latino or Mexican. In a place that was very not minority place. So, my bad. I get nervous with all this stuff. All right, let's try it again. My bad.
I feel like there's like not necessarily a bullseye, but there's like a cloud over your head because you're just targeted for no reason. Experiences, and from what I experienced and from what I heard and from what I know, it's nothing nice. It's never nice to be targeted for nothing other than being a different color of your skin.
I feel like it's really rough out here because everywhere we go, we always being looked and watched over by undercover cops and the real police that's there, just sitting there waiting for something to happen, something to pop up. You're always getting blamed and accused for something you didn't do.
To be honest with you, it makes me feel sad sometimes. I can tell you that I've been a victim. About a year and a half ago, I was driving. I feel like I put my blinker when I switched lanes, and I was stopped. And the way that I was approached, it just came off very disrespectful from the jump. Like, they didn't give me a time to like answer. The way they approached me was just very, very aggressive. And I believe that if my skin wasn't this color, it would have been different. If I was in a predominantly white community, I feel like I would have been approached much differently.
My opinion about that is, I feel like, once again, it's not fair. It's not something that us as men in the world should have to live and feel like in all situations I can lose my life. That's not a sense of lifestyle that I would want to live. I have a son that's 20 years old. I have a daughter that's 18, and I tell them that, you know, to be cautious, be careful, do whatever the law asks you to do, because it's not cool the things that's happening with our young men in this world today. That we need the police to protect us. We need them to enforce rules, the law, not to take advantage and abuse the law. And it's happening on a regular basis across the country. So I think that, you know, our black and brown brothers and our men, we should be able to voice their opinion, and probable cause should determine how action should take place, not just instantly police brutality. I don't think that's right.
By the color of your skin.
How do I feel? I feel like it's just puts a lot more pressure on a certain people, especially like people like of color, that we're only being targeted that way, like as a racial slur. You know, like basically telling us you guys cannot amount to almost anything. They're just giving that stare, that look, you know.
I feel like it would be both a good thing and a bad thing. There are privileges that come from having a certain skin color that are sometimes not seen by others. So I don't like to be criticized and demeaned. I don't like to be thought of as a lower class citizen, but I do enjoy being a part of a community that is brown and being a part of that community that has a lot of pride. So I think that I feel both good and bad about it.
That's my favorite teacher. I don't care.
I think it'll be a better place. I think we can kind of cipher and determine who the criminals are, who's not the criminals. Right now, it kind of seems like everyone's a criminal instantly out the gate without even giving them a chance or opportunity to even think or be able to voice their opinion. It will definitely be in a better place if we can just do the things that we need to do, be safe, be able to protect each other. So let's work on working together as a unit and being safe and being as a team.
I think we would feel, as far as brown communities, I know sometimes my family is afraid to speak up or feel like they don't have rights just because they either immigrated from another country or because they don't look like everybody else. And I think for black and brown communities in general, they would feel like they would be able to speak up, their voice, opinion, input would matter and would be taken just as serious as everybody else's. And they wouldn't really be afraid, I guess, in their communities from either police or people in uniform or even immigration, ICE and stuff like that.
I feel like we'd be much better off. You have these schools and school systems, but everybody will have equal opportunities. You won't have to compete against the next fellow who's over in Orange County using his father's pension. We all be equal. We'd all have the same opportunities. We'd all be able to do great things, and we wouldn't be as portrayed as terrible as we are in the media. Word up.
So when it really hit me was when I ended up going to UCLA. I knew that I was being treated differently. I was looked at differently, and I was judged constantly for anything I did. Most of people at UCLA were white and Asian, and not many students that grew up with me ended up going to schools like UCLA. And then I felt very like tokenized in that system, and I felt like it was not a pleasant experience, and I didn't like it because it made me feel bad.
Simple. It'll be better and it'll be safer. You know, it'll be less stressful. It'll be everything that's negative right now. It'll be the total opposite. But then speaking about hypotheticals and what could be and what will be, no one really knows for sure. But I do know it'll be safer and better for people like me and you.
I think the communities would be a lot more cleaner, a lot more safe for a lot of us. That we wouldn't have to worry about gangs and stuff like that. Like, because we see almost a lot of people lose their lives in their own communities. And it's just not just by police brutality, it's by the people that live inside the community as well.
To be honest with you, I think our communities would be much safer. I think oftentimes when there are crimes being committed in front of us and we see it, we don't usually call the cops because we feel like we're going to be targeted. So I do think that our communities would be safer, and I think we will respect them more. Not saying that we disrespect them now, but oftentimes when we do see someone of authority, like a cop, approaching us, ourselves, we already have this bias because of how we've been treated. So I think, just to sum it up, our communities will be safer because we'll feel more comfortable making those calls.
If we were being treated equally, I believe that we'd be happy, and I believe we could be more successful if they would allow us the same opportunity they allow the whites. They treat us all the same. We would be more successful, and things would go better, and they would feel better whether they know it or not. They would be better off too. We'll be able to get the kind of job that we need to make the kind of money that they make. They make a whole lot more money than we do. We work, we do the same work, but all they want us to do is slave in the kitchen and take the low income finances from paying us, and it's not right, because all men were created equal, and we would be a happy race, and we could get along with them if they get along with us.
It wouldn't be so messy. It wouldn't be like hobos on the street everywhere, crack dealers everywhere, gun violence, police brutality. It wouldn't be any of that. We would be more civilized. It would still be the same, but then everyone would get along. There'll be more white people here. It'll be more of a melting pot.
The song that would be representative of today's world would be "This Is America" by Childish Gambino. I feel like it has a lot of powerful messages in that video about police brutality, about entertainment systems, and how we disregard people's lives when we're infatuated with media and entertainment. I think he did a great job of presenting that message, and
Black people, I'ma steal your shit.
that's the song that I feel like would be for today's world.
A song, man. You put me on the spot right now. Can't really think of none. I mean, there's a Childish Gambino. This in America just came out. There's a lot of deep meanings, but I would say, I'll go back to a song by some Snoop Dogg album. It's featuring Exhibit. It's called Black and Brown with D'Angelo. I just feel we need to sit down and talk about the black and the brown. That's what it is, because that's the whole thing that's going on. In terms of police brutality, This Is America right now is out. So I had to pick that one.
I think the song that best represents what's going on in the world today is "Wake Up Everybody." It's the one song by John Legend it's a remake from Selma the movie. It's a remake of another song. It's the same song, but it's like an updated version. And I think the reason it represents what's going on in the world today is because there's a lot of changes going on, and I think it's because people are starting to think forward and to see power in themselves. And it's especially meaningful to me as a teacher because one of the lyrics is that teachers have to teach the new generation that's coming up because the world is in your hands. So if whatever we do to teach you is what is going to change the world. So it's especially meaning for me as a teacher to know that I have that kind of power, just like the song says, that we have all the power to change the world. That was a lot.
On in the world today and
Childish
why?
Gambino. Just because it gives a lot of what is actually happening, not just to certain areas of the world, but to the whole place, like not just certain communities, not some, it's all. So it's like what's basically happening in between people and police and stuff, and like wars and stuff. It's just making it a little easier for people to see what's just happening in all those areas that are poor.
The NWA song, that's Police. It shows how blacks and browns are really treated bad by cops. And most people don't see that until it goes on the news, and the law hides it from the community. It hides it from the people who are affected today and in the past.
There's this song called, I'm trying to think of the name of the song. It's by Black Eyed Peas. I think it's maybe like Love or Make Love, or it talks about like police brutality, about the war within our community, within ourselves. And I feel like it could all be connected to one another. I'm trying to think of the name of the song. I can't think of it. Maybe when you upload this to YouTube, you can like insert it, but I'll look it up for you. Yes.
What song? That's a good question. Probably a gospel song by Donnie McClurkin, Stand. I firmly believe that everybody has a right. Everybody should have a voice. It's just a matter of time how these things are. And just stand on what you believe in.
What song?
Yes.
What song is wrong today? The soldiers in the army have to fight for our rights, have to fight to be equal, have to fight to make it, have to fight to do everything. We just don't take up the weapons because we believe that God is. But we are like soldiers in the army, fighting for us to have the same opportunity as everyone else.
I'm gonna have to go with Kendrick. Lamar's Black Elephant. See, although I guess you could say, speaking for those who feel like they don't have a voice. And that's why that song stands out to me.
And why?
Fuck the police. Because sometimes the cops still be doing what they said. They will pull you over just because you're black. And then just because you're black, sometimes they'll just pull out a gun because they think you have a gun. And they wouldn't get in trouble about it. So, like, it's not safe on the streets still for any black people.
do what you do and how you was properly trained. Everyone is not a victim. Everyone is not out to hurt policemen. Everyone is not out to kill anybody. So when you pull over somebody, or check out the situation, observe what's going on, and use your professional training and skills to act. Don't let your gun or let your fist be the first move of judgment on people and the actions that you do. It needs to be, do your professionalism, your training, and things that you need to do to make sure that things happen.
It's only love. I mean, that's it. Hate. If you fight, he can't fight hate with hate. Bob Marley said it best. Love makes the world go round. That's it.
The solution to the problem.
I think ignorance is the problem, and so education is the solution. And we only become educated by experiencing new things, and that includes experiencing what other cultures have to offer. So I think that we need to educate people who are not aware of our culture and why our culture is beautiful. And it is something that we are proud of, so why not teach it to others? So it just takes a little bit of education. And college is great, traveling is great, meeting friends who are of different color from you are great, because you just learn a whole lot more about yourself and about their culture as well. And understanding comes from knowledge.
I think when authority, whether it be cops, FBI, whatever it might be, just not racially profile us. Give us a fair opportunity, the same opportunity you give people that are not, my skin color or your skin color. Just give us the same opportunity, and I think things will be better. With anything, nothing's perfect, but they can always be better. So just don't racial profile us.
Solution to the problem.
Less violence and less force.
To the problem.
Although it's much easier said than done, we gotta kill kindness. We gotta kill meanness with kindness. We gotta do everything they say that we can do. And I'm not talking illegal stuff, right? I'm talking as success-wise, do good in your classes, so that everything that you do bad on a daily basis, that's what they expect from you already. I feel like many times people look to other things, like other sources of the problem, but the reality is us as a whole. We're affecting ourselves by giving them what they want. So I feel like we just gotta kill them with success.
No more racial stereotypes. I'm not anything like people think I should be. I'm quiet. I don't like conflict, and I'd rather just have peaceful civilization, not like war, violence, thug things happening around me. It would be more peaceful if we were all just acting together as the same.
The solution to the problem be that they would realize that we are human beings just like they are. We are human beings. That's the thing. Let them realize that we are human beings. We're not animals. We're not all this old crazy stuff they call us. We are human beings just like them. It's just a difference in the color, because like I say, the garden, all the flowers are not the same color, but they're all treated the same way. You have to nourish them and take care of them just like you, the blues and the pinks, just like you do the white. It would be really bad if they don't want to treat us indifferent, but they always treat us. Remember that we're all in the same garden, and if everything was white in the garden, it would be very ugly, and nobody would enjoy. There would be no beauty in it. But when you put the different colors and mix them all up together, that's a beautiful color, and that represents the Lord. We're all the same. Don't care what color we are all the same. We're human beings. We breathe the same. If you cut us, we go all bleed red. All of us are going to bleed red if we cut. That means all of us are the same. It's just a different. It's like a bouquet of flowers. Again, I say, like a bouquet of flowers. You don't want all white and all blue. You're going to want a mixture of it, which makes it beautiful. He looked out at the garden and said, look how beautiful my garden is, all these different colors. They say they're white, but they're not white. We're not black. There's a difference in our color and black. There's a difference in their color and white. They need to realize that we're dark skinned. But we're black and we're brown. That's what you want to call us.
Cut it, 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 cut it.